I am Chief Daniel Oates of the Aurora Police Department. It has come to my attention that a local television news station, Channel 7, has concerns about my department's handling of two different cases involving former Aurora police officers. One of those cases involves former Officer Michael Mangino. In that case, there is pending litigation, which restricts the extent of detail that I can provide at this time. Nonetheless, I believe transparency is important, and that is why I am making this statement available on the police department's website. Mangino was hired in 1982. He spent most of his career working in North Aurora, where he was a popular DARE and community policing or PAR officer. Mangino was such a popular figure in the community that he was even honored by the Chamber of Commerce for his humanitarian work. His double life as a sexual predator was hidden to the Aurora Police Command staff, just as it was to the community. In March of 2011, the police department received a report that Mangino had coerced an underage female to take inappropriate pictures of herself. When this allegation came forward, we launched immediately an investigation to obtain all the evidence necessary to bring criminal charges against Mangino. We worked very closely with the Adams County District Attorney's Office every step of the way. Based on our thorough and timely investigation, we ultimately filed felony charges against Mangino. He quit as a police officer while the case against him was still pending. The charges ultimately resulted in Mangino pleading guilty to felony sexual exploitation of a child and serving time in jail. During the course of our investigation, our command staff became aware of a prior, unrelated complaint against Mangino that is now being characterized by Channel 7 as related to the criminal conduct for which he was ultimately charged and convicted. This earlier complaint was received by Mangino's sergeant. The sergeant conducted a cursory investigation into the allegation, concluded it was unfounded, and discarded the complaint he had received. Discarding the complaint rather than forwarding it to a lieutenant was a clear violation of our rules on how to handle complaints of officer misconduct. When I found out that the sergeant had mishandled this earlier complaint, I disciplined the sergeant for his failure to follow our rules. Despite the sergeant's mistake, a later investigation of that same complaint found that there was no evidence of any criminal activity by Mangino. By the time this second investigation was concluded, Mangino had already quit as an Aurora police officer and had been charged and convicted of the crimes of which the public is aware. The full investigation I ordered into the earlier 2010 complaint resulted in the same finding of no misconduct as concluded by the sergeant in his first cursory investigation. If there had been evidence of criminal misconduct, our department would have immediately pursued additional criminal charges against Mangino with the district attorney's office. When Mangino was arrested for the 2011 incident, I personally announced his arrest to the entire local media in a press conference. I explained that the police department would conduct a thorough investigation and, if the evidence was there, charge Mangino with whatever crimes were appropriate. The police department launched a massive investigation into all of Mangino's alleged conduct, going back many years. Numerous other allegations came to light, some alleging criminal conduct and some alleging misconduct that was not criminal. Every single allegation was run down to exhaustion by Aurora detectives, with their work thoroughly reviewed by the district attorney. One allegation was particularly sensational, that Mangino and another officer engaged in criminal behavior up and down Colfax Avenue. Our investigation concluded that the reported duo was two officers from another police department, and we made a proper referral to that agency. In summary, regarding Mangino, our department has and will continue to take allegations regarding any officer misconduct seriously. We have and will continue to aggressively and thoroughly investigate any and all allegations against Mangino. In an apparent attempt by Channel 7 to show that a pattern of criminal behavior was not properly investigated by the Aurora Police Department, Channel 7 has raised the matter of former Sergeant Morgan Selman, who was arrested in late 2010. Selman was hired as an APD officer in 1996 and was serving as quartermaster and DARE coordinator at the time of his arrest. There has never been any allegation that Selman harmed children through personal contact, even in the matter for which he was ultimately convicted. We obviously had no knowledge of his double life and interest in child pornography. In mid-December 2010, the Colorado Springs Police Department's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force developed a case against Selman for trafficking in child pornography over the Internet. The Aurora Police Department was notified and immediately began to cooperate and assist Colorado Springs PD. Selman was placed on leave with pay on December 15th and on leave without pay on December 17th when he was arrested. Selman resigned as a police officer on January 10, 2011, just weeks into the investigation. He eventually pled guilty to a felony of sexual exploitation of a child in June of 2012. His sentence included serving in jail, permanent status as a sex offender, and 10 years of probation with extraordinarily difficult conditions. Subsequent to the command staff's notification of Selman's involvement with child pornography, his past was also carefully scrutinized. It was discovered that in 2000, a full 10 years earlier, there was a complaint made by a former girlfriend that Selman was in possession of pornography. The police chief at the time directed that the matter be investigated as a potential crime. The investigation was conducted by the Aurora Police Intelligence Unit. The conclusion of that investigation, accepted by the then chief, was that no criminal conduct occurred. The pornographic material in Selman's possession was legal adult pornography. The chief did not open an internal affairs investigation into whether Selman's behavior violated any department rules. Thus, Selman was never interviewed, and our records of this matter have been purged in compliance with records retention schedules. The conduct of these two men in these criminal cases was disgusting, reprehensible, and contemptible. I am proud of the Aurora Police Department's role in getting each of them convicted of very serious felonies, putting them in jail, and getting them formally declared as sex offenders by the court. Of course, their conduct is not condoned by the Aurora Police Department. We repudiate them and what they did. I remain confident in the effectiveness of the Aurora Police Department's investigative procedures when we receive a complaint of misconduct against one of our officers. We are a nationally accredited police agency. Our investigative procedures have been thoroughly reviewed and validated by the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies, also known as CALEA. Our procedures and process comport with the best practices in policing in this country. We even publish a comprehensive annual report on all misconduct and discipline cases. We do this because we believe in the importance of transparency on these issues. That report is available on our website. In the cases involving Mangino and Selman, felony convictions were obtained as a result of the aggressive and thorough investigations of the Aurora Police Department. We are glad to be rid of Mangino and Selman. They disgraced this great police department, and we are thankful to see them held accountable for their horrible crimes. On a final note, Channel 7 apparently is trying to connect a series of unrelated and isolated events over many years to suggest that the Aurora Police Department doesn't investigate misconduct by its officers. This despite the fact that we put these two former officers in jail. As chief, I see this whole matter differently. Aurora Police have roughly 1 million contacts with residents of this city each year. Over the past 25 years, we have employed hundreds of police officers. Like all organizations, we find that we have an occasional employee who dishonors us and the community and shouldn't be a cop. Despite that unfortunate fact, we have an excellent history of getting rid of such employees. We did so here with Selman and Mangino, and we prosecuted them to the fullest extent of the law. Thank you.